that morning, September 17th, 2014, we drove in to Boston at dawn, it felt like, and the sun was rising. And I remember my husband saying, "It's a beautiful day to get a perfect heart." And it didn't really seem real. You know, you never expect that that's going to be you. You hear these stories as a parent or just a person, and you think, oh my God, thank God that's not me. And then it is. And you're in it, and you realize you're capable of so much more than you realize you could do. We walked into the hospital that morning, and we were able to be with her until the moment of surgery. She was only 23 months old. So, you know, in we walked with all our goods from home to make her as comfortable as we could. You know, she was little. She was just not even 2 years old. So where we were was home to her. My husband and I were home. So we brought in her loveys and, you know, her sound machine and some comforts from home, and we're ready to make her room cozy for her. And we brought her into pre-op. The nurses and doctors were so incredible. It felt like a perfectly choreographed show somehow. There was a caricaturist there keeping her busy, and they gave us toys and coloring pages. And so it wasn't cold and scary. You know, everything felt just routine, and everyone's confidence was a little bit contagious. And we were in there. She took a little bit of sleepy juice, as they called it, and she got a little bit sleepy, and off she went. And they assured me, she won't remember this part. She's too sleepy. She's a little loopy. And I think that was the case. But I sure remember it. And I'm not sure I could ever forget that. It was a very, very, very hard moment to see your child be taken away, knowing that you can't fix it yourself, that somebody else has to do it, but also knowing we're almost at the finish line. You know, we're hours away from having this be over. And I think looking back at that day, those few hours waiting, it was a beautiful sunny room, a beautiful sunny day. A child life specialist kept checking in on us and was wonderful and giving us updates, which was incredibly helpful. You know, nothing like hearing everything's going great, no surprises. And then that final visit of everything's done. She's done. The surgeon will be out in a moment to speak with you. And to shake his hand after I knew what he just did, there was no celebrity, no rock star on earth greater than that man. And there never will be. And he said everything went well. Her heart was a little bit more enlarged than they had realized from the hole and the blood flow, but that it was a muscle and it would bounce back, and there would be multiple checkups and they would keep an eye on it. But she was still asleep. She was resting comfortably. He would be in to see her later, and that we could go see her in the cardiac ICU. Going into the ICU, you know, I think I had concentrated so much for so many months about seeing her in a hospital setting, and it's something you never ever want to see as a child in a Johnny, a child in a hospital gown, a child in a bed with tubes and IVs. But what I didn't expect was the immense relief, in spite of all those things, that we had made it. Her heart was now fixed, and when she woke up, it would be healing. It would be another part of the journey, but the hardest part was behind us. And it all feels a little bit like a dream. It's hard to imagine that it was hours and hours and hours. Somehow it felt like 100 days and 5 seconds all at once. But just to be able to sit next to her and hold her hand and be there when she woke up. And I could have never imagined that one of her first words would be that she wanted a popsicle. Kids are incredible. Medicine is incredible. These hospitals are incredible. And it just makes you realize that it's all a bit of a miracle that these things can happen and that these things can be fixed.